What now? Chuck Norris? Chuck Norris is endorsing. Chuck Norris is endorsing Hyperverse / Hyperfund Ponzi scheme investment scam. Anyways, all of that coming up in just a moment. Stay tuned. Welcome to the channel. Please find the big red button, subscribe, and also click on this bell notification icon over here. Okay, so today what we're talking about here is Chuck Norris, Hollywood superstar and martial artist, apparently gave thumbs up on a video promo for the Hyperverse. Okay, Hyperverse, some of you guys don't know who that is, and we'll get into that in just a moment. And some of you guys who know what the Hyperverse and Hyperfund is may not know who Chuck Norris is. We'll get into all of that in this quick article. Okay. I'll also include a link to this blog. This is my new blog here, RorySingReviews.com, about Chuck Norris's endorsement for the Hyperfund underneath this video on YouTube in the description box below for those of you who want more info to do more due diligence and research. So, pretty well, Chuck Norris endorses Hyperverse Hyperfund MLM Ponzi scheme. Did Chuck actually endorse Hyperverse and even give it a thumbs up? Desperate time for Chuck or brain fart? Let's find out. Chuck Norris has come so far from his days of glory fighting kung fu legends like Bruce Lee. Now, Bruce Lee said, "I did not fear the man who practiced 10,000 kicks. But he feared the man who practiced one kick 10,000 times. That would mean masters and mastery, okay? So I'm uncertain if Chuck Norris actually knows what he just did with this hyper scam endorsement. But for those of you who are unfamiliar with Hyperverse / Hyperfund, it's a Ponzi scheme where... Just fix this box here. It's a Ponzi scheme where failed network marketers go for one last shot at succeeding. That might sound like a really bad thing to say, but it really isn't. Okay, it's just a mental mindset issue that some people are going through, hopefully temporarily. Okay, we're going to talk more about that in just a moment. Now, here's a post that I found on Facebook by a guy by the name of Roy, who sums up what the Hyperfund is quickly. Roy says, I have a few friends who are in this business, and despite being told that this is a Ponzi scam and even having bare facts about the owners and the Ponzi pimps involved laid out in front of them, they are blinkered by the numbers on a screen. They all unfortunately have one thing in common. They have all been involved in various online and network marketing businesses over a number of years and had no success. Then along comes this nonsense which none of them understand, and they think they have made it. Very sad, but the only way they may learn is when it disappears. Graham says, Roy, 100% I agree. Then Graham comes back and says, every time we make a new group for a scam, these guys actually warn people about investment scams, but people keep donating their money, hard-earned money, to investment scammers overseas out of desperation. Okay, every time we make a new group for a scam, we see the same old faces in the scam saying how they can't withdraw, they never learn. Now, these are the people who have failed for decades, even years, at trying to sell their MLM products to family and friends, but who didn't find success. Chuck Norris Hyperfund Hyperverse endorsement is like 15 seconds long, but he is still endorsing a well-known scam. Okay, it's not registered. There's no products or services. It is network marketing, right? And there's a guy named Ryan Zhu, another guy named Sam Lee, a bunch of Chinese guys. Ryan, I believe, is from China. Now, Sam Lee, his sidekick in crime, is from Australia because he has a strong Australian accent. But Chinese guys from China and Australia who are now hiding in Dubai apparently paid Chucky to give them a thumbs up in a quick video. All of the affiliates in Hyperfund / Hyperverse, they know it's a cryptocurrency investment scam. You can't make money with a Ponzi unless you actually know it's a Ponzi. Now, there are some new people who have come into the Hyperverse / Hyperfund, and they're new. I think they're very new to the world, new to internet marketing, new to the internet, and they believe that they found the holy grail of investment systems because they're getting 0.5%, right? ROI is what they keep saying based on an app that they've uploaded to their phone, and every time they log in every single day, and it tells them how much monopoly money that they're actually making. Yes, some people in the past, before they locked the withdrawals, before the holiday season, right, as me making this video right now, none of the passive investors can withdraw. Affiliates, of course, are still getting paid because they keep bringing more victims to the Ponzi scheme. Okay. Anyways, I don't want to get too far off the bleating path, but okay, Chuck might have had a brain fart here. Maybe he didn't know what he was endorsing because I don't know if he's desperate or just really needed money. But it happened to Steven Seagal. I love Steven Seagal's movies. I watched many of them, but he had the same brain fart, and he got paid back in 2018. He was promised $250,000 in cash, and then another $750,000 in tokens, MLM shitcoin tokens, for a Ponzi scheme that has now collapsed called Bitcoin, spelled with 2 I's in it, right? And what happened was eventually SEC got involved, right? That's the securities regulator for the U.S. And long story short, Seagal agreed to pay the SEC a big fine of $330,000 in penalties and interest, including the $157,000 that Bitcoin Gen had already paid him. Okay, so they still owed him more. I don't think they. So he lost out big time. And, it can happen to anyone, right? Maybe they're not having a good time in their career. Who knows? But, both Chuck Norris and Steven Seagal are awesome guys, right? I grew up watching Chuck Norris and Steven Seagal, and I still watch their movies. Still enjoy these two hardcore gentlemen. I love their movies. Okay, so here we go. Then there's a story, Dawson Creek. Some of you guys might be familiar with Dawson Creek. I know a lot of the victims in Hyperfund / Hyperverse come from the U.S. and Canada, right? And some of you guys most likely have heard of Dawson Creek. Then they've got Joshua Jackson, many movies and different films. He had a brain fart too back in the day, in 2018. Ryan Zhu, right? I should just get a picture of Ryan the Martian. This is a Ponzi scheme boss. Okay, this is the fellow here, Ryan Zhu, scammer, very well known, serial scammer, right? So, Mr. Norris, this is who's paying you to promote the Ponzi scheme, meaning give them a thumbs up. This is pretty well what's happening, and these guys are now, they rip so many people off that they're hiding. They're even hiding from creditors in Australia. I believe they owed like $39 million to creditors, and the network marketers promoting Hyperverse / Hyperfund are pretending that he's a billionaire, but maybe a millionaire at most. But he does it from scamming people. And then there's another fellow, Sam Lee. Let's get an image here. This is the partner in crime, right? These are the guys paying Chuck Norris, and they paid Joshua, right, to endorse. And Joshua, he didn't just endorse, right? Joshua Jackson, the guy from Dawson Creek, he was actually pretending he was Eugene Kaislov. Isn't that crazy? And look at this here. It gets even worse. Story gets even worse. Even President Trump, okay, not with the Hyperfund. I did notice Ryan Zhu, took a couple images that they had to pay for with President Trump. But anyways, President Trump got paid back in between 2005 to 2015 with a huge MLM giant called ACN, right? Promised him $8.8 million to give an endorsement of the ACN network marketing opportunity, and he did. And then, a lot of people got involved, and then some disgruntled network marketers didn't succeed with it. It doesn't mean that people can't succeed with real network marketing and real MLM, right? Real programs, real brick and mortar companies, with real products of value. It means that most people, they don't really try too hard. And then a lot of people, they have belief issues that they don't believe that anything great can happen, and they never remove it. They just walk around from the time that they're, understanding stuff as a child to when they get really old and, leave the planet. Most people, they, walk around with these, they're lazy. I think it's laziness. They don't want to remove the self-limiting belief, right? Anyways, so long story short, a group of network marketers got pissed off. Hey, we didn't succeed with ACN after Trump said it was a good deal, and they took the man to court, and I think it's still in the courts today. Okay. Long story short, we'll close off with this. What will Hyperverse, Hyperfund, cult-like followers say about all of this? They will just smile and say that if Mr. Chuck Norris is endorsing their Ponzi, that it must be 100% legit. 100% legit, guys.